Will you harvest or grow? Interesting question. You know, many people are in a harvesting mode and they don't realize it. Clearly, harvest means you sell your business, you take in your crop, you take your money, and you go someplace warm. That's not what I'm talking about. There is a secret kind of harvesting that's been going on since the recession, and I find this with many, many companies, and it's this. If a company survived the 2009 recession, they made cuts and changes, and they're still okay, they're still operating the same way. In spite of the fact that this is the best growth opportunity most companies will have in their business lifetime. But these companies aren't organized that way, they don't think that way, their values aren't that way, etc., and so forth. So there's a missed opportunity. So it's this secret harvesting that I want to put a finger on right now. Here's why you should consider growing. This isn't complicated. The next 6 years to 8 years, or even maybe 10, depending on your economist, will be as good a growth market for most businesses as there is going to be in this quarter century. In spite of international turmoil, which is always there, in spite of concerns about China or India, or pick your country, there are always those kinds of things, but the United States has been and will be a remarkable growth engine. There's a reason that the dollar is the currency standard for the world, and that's not going to change. Number two, the odds are in your favor because you know what you're doing. You've been in the game a long time. You are more like LeBron than a kid out of college. And so take advantage of that. Number three, now you can invest to change the trajectory of your business with a lower risk because the market's better, you have greater skills. So the question is, are you going to harvest? Or are you going to grow? And that's a conflict. And I'm pointing it out because this conflict is going on in your mind if you're running a business. And if you aren't putting it out on the table with somebody, you should. Because when you're trying to figure this out, it's dragging you down. It's an extra weight on your back. It's ankle bracelets of lead, however you want to make the picture, that you don't need. So pick one. And if you decide you're at harvest, go for it. That'd be fine. But if you want the excitement of growing, then do that. And let go of harvesting. So here's a benefit of growing that you know about but is worth looking at, and it's this. You can build meaning in your business with yourself and your people. And the fact is that purpose may be the single most powerful motivator there is. There's a ton of research about this. And purpose is certainly in the top three, and it's way ahead of money. Purpose for most people, maybe not you or you, but for most of your employees, a purpose is why I come here. I promise you, if you're paying somebody $62,500 a year, they're not coming for the money because they're having trouble making ends meet, but they have a sense of purpose and responsibility, and you can feed that as a leader. Building meaning into the business has multiple benefits like these. Personal growth for you and your people, which takes the form of, what can I do differently? One of the other major motivators for performance is the ability to learn and do better and grow. And people will leave their jobs for an opportunity to learn and grow. And this is not just 23-year-olds. Number two, relationships. In the growth mode, you will provide an opportunity for people to look around and say, look at what we did together. And if you think about the state of the American family and marriage and all of the kinds of broken relationships that are going on in our culture, to provide a place where people can brag together about what they did is huge. And it will make a stronger business, by the way, too. Achievement. For most people, the other side of purpose is achievement, meaning our purpose was to do this, and look what we did. That's also huge, and growth will provide that to them. And finally, recognition, which is the other main driver, and that recognition is very simple. Nice work. Way to go. Look at what you did. You don't have anything to recognize if you aren't going for something. You can't sit on the park bench and recognize other than it's a pretty bird and it's a pretty leaf. So you have underneath here dramatic opportunities to provide meaning to to your people, and by the way, customers and suppliers, because you impact them. Turns out if you do these things, strangely enough, they will boost the valuation of your business, its profit, and your compensation. Hard to believe, but true. So why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you think about growth? Because all of these things increase valuation, which pays you.